My son is gone. Her daughter's gone. Her husband's gone. His brother's gone. And they are all from repeat offenders.
They held back tears, but delivered a strong message to lawmakers.
Dan was a damn good cop. And he didn't deserve to be shot while attempting to put handcuffs on someone who was a felon.
Tonight, the families of Jaden Chavez Silver, Lily Garcia, and Albuquerque officer Dan Webster urged support of several criminal justice reform laws heard by the House Judiciary Committee. One measure expands the 3 strikes law, which would send more repeat offenders to prison for life. Officer Webster's widow, Michelle, says her husband may still be alive if these changes had already been made.
There's no deterrent anymore to harm a police officer.
House Bill 7 is relating to capital felony sentencing, reinstating the death penalty.
Lawmakers also heard a bill to reinstate the death penalty for child killers and cop killers. The proposal was partly inspired by Victoria Martin's murder. Webster spoke in support of that bill too. Wearing her husband's badge number, she says he was on her mind the whole time.
Dan was my hero. Dan was his daughter's hero. You know, he was a lot of things to a lot of people. I invite them to come along on a ride-along and see what we deal with.
It's a beautiful sight, but one that can quickly get grounded if thieves get their way.
We're doing everything we can to ensure that these balloonists have the best experience possible.
Albuquerque Police and the New Mexico Fraud Bureau have come together for a new program equipping balloons with GPS trackers. That way, if any are stolen, officers will know where to find them.
They've actually given us dozens of trackers that we've actually been able to work with the balloonists themselves and implant into the balloons.
Albuquerque Police Lieutenant Paul Zeich says there's also video surveillance and undercover detectives roaming Balloon Fiesta Field because sometimes people can be too trusting.
Last night, for instance, we ran into a individual from Oklahoma in town for the Balloon Fiesta. They were in front of a gas station parked, brand new van, left running, keys in it, windows down, and they were inside the store shopping.
Lieutenant Zeich says this plan is vital in making sure the crews who make Fiesta so beautiful keep coming back to Albuquerque. After all, we need their gear to be safe and ready to go in order to create this.
Another day at the Roundhouse.
Representative Varela, yes.
Another dollar out of your wallet, with no finalized solutions to our state's budget crisis in sight. So far, the Democrat-controlled Senate.
I've been crying about the revenue shortfalls since last January with the executive branch.
And the Republican-controlled House.
Like, our state's in crisis. We are seeing cops murdered, 10-year-old girls tortured and murdered.
Are in a standoff. Saturday, the Senate passed measures to reduce the state's current $589 million budget shortfall. Then, members adjourned and went home, indicating they didn't want to hear or vote on 3 crime bills introduced in the House.
House Bill 7 is relating to capital felony sentencing, reinstating the death penalty.
One is a measure to reinstate the death penalty. While the Senate is gone, House Republicans are taking strong stances against the measures it passed to balance the budget. Here's where both chambers are at odds. The Senate is proposing cuts to public education, CYFD, and the Department of Public Safety. The House wants to avoid cuts to all 3, but would reduce budgets for state colleges.
You know, there's some different priorities, clearly, in the Senate's budget items than there are in our budget.
The Senate's Finance Committee chairman says he stands by the proposals passed in his chamber.
Painful, but it was a bipartisan vote when you start looking across the line.
All the while, the total cost for the session continues to climb. It's now at $125,000.